All right, what is up, fight fans? We are back for another episode of The Real and the Rare. This morning, we are being joined by the one and only Mr. Beast Mode, Mr. Brandon Meyer. Brandon, how are we feeling today, my friend?
Feeling fantastic, man. Fantastic.
That's how we start the days off, right, my friend?
Yes, sir. We tried to.
Yeah, obviously, we tried to get it in yesterday. Brandon had a last minute tattoo, so we adjust some things to kind of accommodate, especially for our guests. So, but first and foremost, let's get the sponsor read out of the way. And this interview is brought to you by Fight Wax. Fight Wax is a new brand out there, and what they're looking to kind of do is get more involved in the combat sports realm. It helps treats cuts, swelling, scrapes, abrasion, rejuvenates and restores skin. Um, it can be used for soreness, stiffness, recovery, designed for active athletes and active lifestyles. It is a ultra silk, non greasy feel, deep hydration, and for everyday skincare. Also helps fight dry skin. Could also be used for eczema, psoriasis, hidradenitis, and separativa. So, guys, make sure you guys are checking out the products there over there at Fight Wax and used the code to access it is for your 50% discount is just my name, Steven Rychel. Should be really easy. Other than that, what is up this morning, Brandon? How you feeling today, brother?
Feeling great, man. Ready to get this day started.
Yeah. That's how we always do it over here. Now, obviously, I was talking about, your tattoo company there. Wanted to make sure we pull that up, get the let people
Yes,
know
sir.
what you
Beast Mode. Beast Mode. Just
what you're doing.
number one tattoo shop in Omaha.
There you go. There you go. Now
Yeah.
you've done some. Let me
Yeah.
we'll
Check
go to
that out.
solo so we can pull that one up. There you go.
Look at that.
There you go. Doing big
Thanks,
things, brother. Doing big things.
sir.
I also seen some of your work. You did a touch up on a Niners fan. Got some detail into the Golden Gate Bridge there.
Yeah, that thing was a mess when he brought it to me. I'm it's one of the things that I do. Um, I'm one of the cover up experts in the area. You know, a lot of artists don't like touching people's work or doing big cover ups. I like the challenge, just like in the fight game. I
Yeah,
move up and weight. I fight anybody. I'm the same way with my tattoos.
that's how you do it, brother. I mean, like, listen, tattooing is definitely an art. It is. There's no way around it. But like, I get why people get like that. Like, oh, I don't want to touch somebody else's work. I get that, but at the same time, it's like sometimes, somebody didn't do something right. It didn't heal right. Whatever. The outline smeared. Why? When you try to get it on and didn't correct it as you were tattooing. Some people grow out of the tattoo and they want to cover it up with with something else. It's
Well, a lot of times I've had people that came to me, and they maybe got a basement tattoo or something like that, and it was just horrible. You know what I mean? It was a few years back. I had a lady that she came to me. Somebody tried doing a koi fish on her, and it was on the back shoulder blade right here, and it honestly looked like a giant penis, man. It looked horrible. Like they even added colors. It was like a pink head on that thing too, And she had went to all the big tattoo shops in Omaha, and nobody wanted to touch it. And I felt bad for her. She couldn't go swimming. She didn't. She was embarrassed to take her shirt off, and wear a swimming outfit. And so we were able to do something for her and man, she bawled her eyes out when she seen the final product, man, because she just didn't think that she'd be able to get something like that over that.
that's the name of the game, right?
That's why I do it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That right there is why I do those things that I do like that, because if I could change somebody's life for something like that, it's a really good feeling.
I was like, a lot of the time, that's what Kat Von D used to dive right into, is the cover ups. That's what she was. That's what she got big off of.
Yeah.
She wound up on that reality show. It's you know,
Tattoo nightmares.
listen, but if you could turn someone's nightmare into something completely different, you know, you've done your job. I say it all the time on here. Like, listen, I don't care how many people view these interviews, as long as I connect you with somebody. You know, whether it be a sponsor, a fan that winds up coming to your events, buying tickets, buying T-shirts, whatever. I've done my job as an interviewer, as a media member, as a journalist, however you want to word that. It's about connecting people, and sometimes people forget about that along the way. Like when we do these type of things, it's about connecting people. It's not about you know. The clicks you get, or you know, the responses you get out of an athlete for, you know, XYZ question. It's about connecting them with other members of either your community, or just the you know, the combat sports community in general. It's
Exactly. This is going on a podcast. Going on my first podcast, you know, some years back, was actually how I got hooked up with my manager, Carlos, from CNC Management.
yeah.
That's been, shout out to Carlos, man. That's been a blessing. I've gotten some huge opportunities, and capitalized on the opportunities that he's got me. So can't complain there, man.
Well, Sal C, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, my friend. Appreciate you tuning in today. Obviously, some of the normal people are confused because you know, they want to talk football, but you know, we'll get to football later this afternoon, Alex. Don't worry about it. We're talking a little combat sports with my man Brandon here today. So
bare knuckle time today, right now.
yes, sir. And as we are getting closer, we are within 2 weeks now. You're going to be back here in Philadelphia again. It is a big fight card this time. The first one, the last one, Knucklemainia 5, was pretty big, but this one is even bigger. You got the Rothwell Orlovsky rematch. This time in bare knuckles, should be fun. You got Yoel Romero and Lorenzo Hunt, should be absolutely amazing.
It's a stacked card, man.
Bonner and Soto too. Your fight's even a rematch too.
Yeah. Yeah, the last one broke the records. Knucklemainia 5 broke the combat sports record for a fight in Philadelphia. Not just bare knuckle, but any combat sport.
I've been to both of the UFC 101, UFC 133 cards in well, you know, that arena. And listen, it was a different energy, dude. Like I said, I was there for the UFC fights. I've been in there for hockey. I've been in there for hockey games. I've been in there for Sixers game. It was just a different energy. And
different level, man. The night before the weigh-ins, when we first got into town, I wanted to see the arena, so I went to a 76ers game. And I tell you what, that game I was yawning. I mean, it wasn't nothing compared to the energy level that was in the building that night of BKFC of Knucklemainia 5, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not even comparable. It was insane.
And we're nuts, and we're crazy fans. Someone asked me last night, or you know, he was asking if, you know, get tickets. I'm like, I'm listening. If you want tickets, let me know. I'll hook you up with some of the fighters. They're still selling tickets. You can go to Ticketmaster, whatever. But I prefer you go to one of the fighters so you can put money in their pocket. So I was like, put it to you like this: put a dome on Lincoln Financial Field during a playoff game for bare knuckle, and that's the environment it is.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can explain it in, you know, Philadelphia fan term.
It was crazy, man. Like you like I was telling people, when he hit the canvas, when I knocked him out, it was the shockwave that hit me was just insane. Like you could just feel the sound of it. You know what I mean? It was wild. Definitely the pinnacle of my career up until that point. And
different, like obviously you've competed in other arenas, but like, what do you think is different? Not just Philadelphia, when you're in an arena like that, like how is the energy different than when you go to like the how you go to Mohegan Sun or whatever? How's it different when you're in an arena that can see 20,000-30,000 fans?
I mean, it's just not even comparable. Like when you go out, as soon as you come out the tunnel and you see the crowd, and you hear the sound of the crowd, and you feel that energy. I mean, it was insane. Like when I came out of the tunnel and I seen that, in my head, I was like, there is no fucking way I'm losing this fight.
Well, and a lot of fighters feed off of that.
Oh yeah,
That energy.
I'm an emotional fighter. I feed off energy, and I feed off the whole lead up to the fight, the weigh-ins, getting in his face, sizing him up. All of that plays into everything. You know what I mean? And so um, I'm one of those guys that I love going into enemy territory and spoiling the crowd. When the odds are stacked against me, I think that's when I fight at my best.
Hey man, like listen, you got a handful of guys that are looking to spoil the hometown kids, party, so to speak. When we get over here on February 7th, and it's going to be a fun card. Obviously, Johnny Garbarino is going to be on the card. Pat Brady's going to be back on the card. Lex Ludlow is going to be on the card. You got a bunch of Philly guys in there. Like I know, obviously Eddie was the headliner last time against Jeremy Stevens, and that was another thing that kind of threw me off. It was like it took me back to like when the Flyers and the Devils were huge rivals during the Legion of Doom era, and you're just hearing the F Steven chants was just something else. It's a different feel in there. So it's fun. I'm really looking forward to this card. I was fortunate enough to be able to have media credentials for the last one. It looks like I'm gonna be doing it again. So uh, hopefully we can catch up with you and get some interviews for Bare Knuckle News afterwards after another victory. Because like you said, we're running this one back apparently. What made you decide to accept this? I mean, obviously, it was a clear cut, clean win. I mean, has he gone on? Like, I haven't really like gone deep down into it. Has he gone on a run, or is it just that he want to run it back?
I I mean, I think he had one boxing match in between there. He fought a boxer that was like a losing record. I fought a world champion in between there, so I think um, it was different. I fought a world champion bare knuckle fighter, in between then at a higher weight class that dropped down to 155 from his first bare knuckle fight.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when I fought him, I wasn't. I took the fight on like a week's notice. I was coming off a couple injuries. I was definitely not 100%. Not to take anything away from Elvin Brito, which is phenomenal fighter and legend. I always looked up to him as soon as I came into bare knuckle. You know what I mean? He was the guy. So hats off to him. But I definitely wasn't 100% on a full training camp. I think it could have been a different story. But now I'm focused on this one, and I'm about to show him why bare knuckle is just a different sport. He was an undefeated MMA fighter. I gave him his first loss of his career, and it was a devastating loss. So I know he's going to have that in his head. I know he's going to be training his ass off. He's going to be, trying to make adjustments and all that. But I know what I did in that fight, and I plan on not giving him the same look. If he's trying to train for that same fighter that he was training for, he's not going to see that guy. He's going to see a different guy.
So how are you going to be able to top that last performance, though? I mean,
Obviously, that's like, about as good a scenario as you can get. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm never looking for. I always want to knock my opponent out. That's the goal. But I'm never really like, okay, this is the punch that's going to knock him out or whatever. You know what I mean?
You're
Like
not.
it's always just like in the midst of a combination, or you know what I mean. You just these motherfuckers touch the button one time, and I just put people to sleep. So all I got to do is touch him. You know, I'm not gonna rush it. I don't need to rush it. So he's the one that's got to worry about me, not the other way around.
I mean, like you don't go hunting for it if it when it lands, if it turns the lights off, it turns the lights off. You don't go hunting for the KO, so to speak.
Listen, in my career, across my MMA career and everything, um, I've only got one decision win. Every one of my wins is a finish. Besides that one decision, that was Fames down in Miami, and he got saved by the bell in the first round, so he kind of lucked out. But I finish fools. That's what I do. That's what I train to do. I ain't trying to come out there and play patty cake. You know what I mean? I know, I know if I touch somebody, they're going to sleep. So it's just letting my skills take over, and letting it happen in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the fun things about it. I mean, you guys go through these camps and you get to see, how you've grown as a fighter or what you need to get better at, work on X, Y, and Z. So it's an interesting thing when we see some of these fights get run back. So I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be looking forward to this. Hopefully I'll be able to catch a few more of the fights than I did the first time I covered Knucklemainia. So, but I do want to get into some of the stuff that happened this weekend. And I mean, first of all, I'm not even going to get into the actual fight. I want to talk to you about what happened to the UFC fighter. Bunch of fights got canceled. Obviously, when you see a guy get on the scale and literally face plant, 4 seconds later. When are we going to start seeing some of these athletic commissions start to go about making weight for fight a little bit more safer for the athletes? Because I know, he has come out and said, like, he didn't have a bad weight cut. He didn't cut a lot of weight, things of that nature. What other reason do you after cutting weight and you hop on a scale and then you you face plant, 3 seconds later, has it not contributed to rapid extreme weight cutting?
I definitely don't believe that explanation, man. You can see the signs.
Yeah, you see when he's on there, like something looked off.
Yeah, you can definitely tell, and shame on his corner people and the guys that were there with him. They knew what was going on behind the scenes. They should have been right on his elbow, guiding him out of there to not let that happen. I mean, it's obviously not their fault. He makes his own decision.
Because they were there. They were there.
Yeah.
But, like, I wonder if he was rushing off so he can go sit down, because he was probably feeling like, the walls closing in on him, so to speak. But, like, it's one of the things I talk about a lot. I think the athletic commissions as a whole across all 50 states, that we need to do a better job than the day before weigh-in. But there has to be some way to go about it. Whether you do weight checks throughout the training camp and you can't go above a certain poundage or whatever the case may be. I don't think having these fighters.
BKFC does that. BKFC will do a weight check a week before the fight just to see where you're at. You know what I mean? That way, I haven't fought for a promotion yet that is so in depth with the fighter safety as BKFC does. I mean, they do neurological tests before and after the fights. They're tracking, if we're getting our freaking brain scrambled, all that. They're sewing us up right backstage when we're getting cut. You know what I mean?
Not only just that, the rule that it implemented at the end of this past year, in my opinion, it cost Frankie Edgar the fight that he was set up with Jimmy Rivera. I know a lot of people were upset about it. I know he still, in a way, feels upset about it. Still feels like something was taken from him. But you read into some of the things that the rules that they implemented: age, winning streak, things of that nature, like that. you see guys that were probably doing pretty good, but maybe their medicals aren't that great, is why is they're not competing anymore. I mean, Houston Alexander is like 52 years old, and he's like on a 4-fight win streak. But last time BKFC went to his backyard, we didn't see him on the card. So I think he's actually fighting this coming weekend for
Yeah, he is.
promotion there in Omaha. But it's one of these things, and then they're doing whatever, not just to protect themselves, but to protect the fighters from themselves. Because a lot of guys are just like, let me go out on my shield. Like, don't sit there and take this opportunity for me to see if I can still compete, if I can still do the things the way I need to do it. But it's
I mean, if anything, BKFC is like, they're overly protective and stuff like that. Like, for instance, last year for Knucklemainia, I had to do a stress test, which is, you get on a treadmill, they hook up a bunch of wires to you, and you run on a treadmill until you're sprinting at the end uphill. They get your max heart rate, and then they get you off of that, and they do an ultrasound of your heart. You know what I mean? I had to do another one for this fight, and that was a year ago. So I mean, I thought it was a little bit overly much, but I mean, I guess you'd rather them do more than necessary than not enough, I guess.
I mean, like, listen, no one's ever going to sit there and say the BKFC doesn't do the proper testing for their athletes. That like I said, at that point in time, you'd rather them care more than not care at all.
Yeah.
When we're in a day and age where you see the circus fights that boxing has been putting on with Jake Paul over the last handful of years. You want to make sure that some of these fighters are well, and then when you see some of these situations where they know they can't get sanctioned in certain states, they wind up moving around from state to state until they could find someone that's sanctioned. I have a problem with that. If there's a state and they won't sanction your fight, and then you go to another athletic commission, I don't think it should be allowed. You were already denied a fight, the fight license from.
Sorry about that. My light came off. So,
it's all right, brother.
It's one of those motion lights, so.
You weren't moving around enough.
For a while.
You're not shadow boxing, so it didn't think you were in the room anymore. But I don't think that that should be allowed. Like, if Texas sit there and says we're not going to give you a fight license, you can't sit there and go to Louisiana, Atlanta, whatever, and then make the fight happen. I think once you're denied, you're denied.
Yeah. Until
whatever issues they had is resolved. It's the same thing. Like, if you get suspended in by one sanctioning body, then you shouldn't be allowed to go outside of the sanctioning bodies to go sit there and still have a fight.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one of the things, like, obviously, combat sports is not completely perfect in its entirety, but there's way worse things out there going on with what goes on in the world these days. So take your wins where you get them, I guess. But
yes, sir.
Now, one of the things I want to get into some fun little topics here for you, right? So I came across this list, right, of the hardest punchers in MMA history, right? It's a nice list, right? There's some people I don't think that should be on there. Bo Nickel is for one of them. Is there somebody missing from this list that people don't give respect to? And I actually think there's an obvious one. I want to see if yours is the same as mine. Nagano.
Bo Nickel. Why the hell is Bo Nickel on that list?
That's what I said as soon as I seen this list. I'm like, why is he on here? I can think of at least a handful of guys I'd put on this list. Now, one of them is fighting this, on the same card as you. I want to see if you have the same opinion as me on this one. So, if we're replacing Bo Nickel on this list, who do you think slides into, 8th, 9th, 10th spot, whatever you feel?
Man, there's a hell of a lot of people ahead of Bo Nickel. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't think he's
You
in the
know,
top
Roy
20.
Nelson obviously deserves to be there. Pereira, Chuck Liddell, Mark Hunt, Dan
Oh,
Henderson,
oh, Alex O'Hara is probably he's got to be on that list. I
yeah,
mean,
he's 9 for whatever reason.
okay,
He's 9. I
yeah.
mean, Rampage. I'd have put Rampage Jackson on there before I put Bo Nickel on there.
Oh, most definitely.
But the one I'm saying is it's not and it's not Big Ben Rothwell. It's Andrei Arlovsky. I mean, he's stood the test of time. He's fought in everyone. He's knocked out a lot of big name guys in this
Yeah.
sport, and he did it for the longest time as an undersized heavyweight.
I mean, you got to put Fedor on that list, man.
See, I have a problem with Fedor. Listen, I get a lot of crap for this. I don't have this aura about Fedor that everyone else does.
Fedor,
Is he a very skilled fighter? Yes. All right, name me 5 Hall of Famers that he's fought.
I mean, he beat. Didn't he beat Chuck Liddell in Pride?
There's your one, right?
He beat. Man, who else did he beat a bunch of guys? Oh, his era, his heydays
His
were in
problem was he
Pride.
stayed over there too long. He didn't come over to the United
Well,
States.
the problem is that when he wanted to make the transition to the UFC to compete against those guys, he was just unrealistic with his expectations.
No, he wasn't.
He
His
wanted a
madness
piece of the
was. His
UFC.
madness was. They thought they were going to get a piece of the UFC. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, no. Don't get me wrong. You know, he was phenomenal over there. But I mean, you got to go look at Vanderlei Silva. He's got to be up there. You know what I mean? That dude. That dude. I mean, he put Rampage Jackson through the freaking ropes twice. Like he vicious knockouts in Pride.
I still think Rampage revenge on that was even better.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because he hit him clean with one shot. It wasn't like what Vanderlei did when he had him locked up in the tie clinch and he was getting him with knees.
Yeah,
Rampage
no, I get it. But it was the follow, like when Rampage went out, he was stuck on the ropes, fucking bouncing on the fucking ropes. It was the visual of it was
Pride was a special time, my friend. That's
man, the soccer kicks to the face.
And we don't realize how good we had it when they had the Pride versus UFC fights, because that's never going to happen ever again. Like I even said it for bare knuckle. Could you imagine in like 5 years, 10 years, BKB and BKFC has an interpromotional tournament to see who's really the best fighters in bare knuckle? That would be amazing.
Yeah,
but I also know that's never going to happen, just because of the simple fact that money rules all, and no one's going to give up enough money or
well, the shape of that ring,
like that.
The shape of the ring has a lot to do with a fight too, and skill sets and everything too. So
yeah,
I mean, if a guy's used to using his footwork to create angles and set up shots and stuff like that, it's a little bit harder to do in that trigon. You got to you got to that's kind of like rock'em sock'em robot shit over there.
Yeah, and that's why I actually think the Travis Thompson and Josh Oxidon fight's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of interesting things there. A lot of interesting things, right? So I think we both agree Bo Nickel has no place on that list. I don't know who wrote that list up, but they need to put the reefer down. Put the reefer down and rethink that one, right? So
yeah.
Next one is an interesting one. Who is the greatest fighter in MMA history to never hold a major world championship?
It'd have to be Dan Henderson, man.
I mean, he was both Pride and Strikeforce world champion. I don't think
I'm talking about the UFC.
Yeah.
To never hold a belt, period. Ever?
Yeah, like because I mean Uriah Faber was also a WEC champion. So
yeah.
Why he's on this particular list? Then they have on this what Yoel Romero.
I think what they're saying is a UFC belt. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I think.
I thought it was crazy they put Josh Koscheck up there. I'm like, well, what? I'm like, Koss was an interesting guy. He had great wrestling. He had okay striking for a period of time, but I mean, you were never going to beat George St. Pierre. Let's be honest.
No. Which is crazy because George St. Pierre was a Kyokushin karate fighter, man. That dude he didn't wrestle, like he wasn't known for a wrestler, but he ended up being one of the best wrestlers in MMA ever.
All because Matt Hughes beat the brakes off of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what we talk about, like about, getting in there, finding your deficiencies, and then just like this isn't gonna lose me a fight ever again. And he did become one of the best MMA style wrestlers.
Yeah. Yep. He was a very well-rounded guy, man. He didn't really have a lot of holes in his game, really. He had one of the best jabs in MMA. He was like one of the first MMA fighters to like utilize the jab in MMA like he did. I mean, who throws a Superman jab? I never even seen anybody throw a Superman jab. I didn't even know it existed, but he did.
Oh man, the heyday of what MMA is, because as of right now, I've been sitting there saying that you guys are in the right promotion right now as far as combat sports goes, because UFC they're hurting in a lot of ways. I mean, I know that they just got their deal with Paramount, but they had 3 fights fall off of it in a 2-week span, and losing their main event, and Kayla Harrison had to have a pretty serious surgery. So she may be done for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see some of it. We had another fight come off the card because of unusual, betting and stuff like that. And Dana just said, like, I'm not dealing with this nonsense again, and nixes the fight. So, I mean, but what Dave has built, not even since the inception, just over the last 5 years, in my opinion, they've been kicking the UFCs in the mouth, in the teeth, however you want to word it. I think you're a part of the most popular combat sports promotion in the world right now. Everyone can make arguments. I'm not talking about dollars and cents. I'm talking about who has the buzz about their promotion, week in and week out.
I think people see it as like one of the rawest forms of combat there is. I mean, you've seen Luke Rockhold come over from the UFC, and he fought at 185, and he was up there for a title shots, and he was at the top of that division, and he came down and fought a smaller fighter in Mike Perry that fought at 170 and was a mediocre fighter in the UFC, but he got his damn teeth rearranged in there and was like, never again. I think some of those guys
salty about it, talking all kinds of crap on bare knuckles.
Oh yeah, I'd talk crap too if I got my fucking teeth rearranged. But it's just, I think once if somebody's been in the gym their whole life, and I've seen this personally, guys that just they trained MMA, but they've never really been in street fights or any like real grimy situations like that, man. You catch those bare knuckles for the first time, and you're used to getting hit with gloves, even if they're 4-ounce gloves. It's just a different type of contact. You know what I mean? It's real. You know what I mean? Like even the feeling that you get going in there. For me, it's like a street fight. I grew up street fighting. I got into MMA because I was fighting all my life growing up. I got pushed into MMA because of my friends being like, why the fuck are you not whooping dudes in there? So I ended up going in, and I ended up.
Why are you fighting that bum Montanez again?
He wants the smoke. You know what I mean? He wants his get backs.
He wants his he's called for the rematch. Brandon said, "You know what? I'll oblige. I'll take a free paycheck. February 7th. Ain't no problem. Run this back." And I don't think we're going to see a completely different result. I just think it might take a little bit longer because, like I said, it's really hard to kind of top when you have a performance like that. It's hard to replicate it exactly. You know, it's like some of these guys when they set like the knockout records. You know, it's
Yeah, like Jorge Masvidal.
yeah. He says he's putting $50 on. I mean, listen, you call Montana a bum. Why are you only betting 50? You know, it sounds like you wavering in your faith there, Mark. What's going on?
You know what the crazy thing is I was such a huge underdog in that first fight
Yeah,
that people that put money on me, they make bank.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm curious to see what the odds are this time. I don't never bet or anything like that, but
oh, I'm terrible, dude. Anytime, like I think I know what's going on in this sport, I'm wrong. Like my daughter even said, like she's been a big Patty Pimblett fan, and she was like,
oh, I was
she's watched enough MMA with me to know like how styles play out, and she was like, I knew he was going to lose by decision when it came to that fight.
dude, I picked Justin Gaethje hands down to win that fight just because and
A lot
he
of the
didn't
stuff that was
and
going around.
honestly he didn't even fight a great fight as far as Justin Gaethje's level of the way he fights. But I just knew he was good. He hadn't fought anybody that was nasty like that. Like Gaethje is nasty when
Yeah, he
he
is.
fights.
His leg kicks are nasty.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't utilize his leg kicks in that fight.
He's got an immovable spirit about him. Like
I think if he would
I think that the only elite guys can really give Justin trouble. Seriously,
for sure, and like that's why I said he didn't even utilize his leg kicks in that fight. If he would have chopped Patty down that whole time, as well as fucking,
I think he wanted to
hitting him with his fucking shots. I think it would have been
saying he was going to stop Justin Gaethje. Justin's like, really? You going to stop me? I'm going to lay some leather on you, boy.
Dude, he almost stopped Patty, man. Shit, there was a couple of times, man. I was like, ooh, I don't know if he's gonna make it out of this one.
Listen, that fight's going to make Patty Pimblett a better fighter. We all know.
Oh, most definitely.
We all know. Once you have those type of losses to that caliber type fighter, you only can do one thing. Either you stay right where you at or you level up. And I don't think he's the type of fighter that's going to stay where he's at. He's young enough. He's hungry enough. He's strong enough. He's going to level up because of that fight. And next time we're out there, we're going to see a different Patty Pimblett. You can sit there and argue all you want. Listen, that kid is one of the bigger stars that the UFC has under their brand right now. And he's gonna level up for this. I'm gonna be interested to see what he does throughout the rest of the year. Considering this, this is a very early 2026 fight. I still think we're gonna wind up seeing Patty 2 more times this year. We'll see how everything plays out. But
I don't know. After the whooping he got on there, I don't know. He might fight maybe one more time this year. I don't know. Two might be pushing it, but I'd see maybe a fight at the end of the year. But we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens.
I think he's gonna get one like right after International Fight Week. He's not gonna be on that card. He'll probably be like headlining the, one of the smaller cards afterwards, like not like your quote unquote pay-per-view type shows, because considering there's no pay-per-view shows anymore. But
hey, look, not to cut you short, man, but I'm running short on time.
Okay, yeah,
I do have a point.
Yeah, I was literally gonna ask you one more thing, but
go ahead.
I'll cut you out. Well, I'll just get into my cutout process. What I typically do in the last few questions is, along the lines of what we were kind of just talking about, right? So we talk about goats in the sport and stuff like that. And I think combat sport's the hardest to do. You can never say there's a goat because there's women's division, there's men's division, there's so many different eras, right? So I think the fairest way to kind of sit there and do that is, what is your Mount Rushmore of combat sports? Who is the four people? Obviously, I think I already know one since when we were talking about the knockout guys. But who would be your 4 people that you would put on a Mount Rushmore for combat sports?
I mean, for me, my favorite fighter ever is John Jones. I think he's the best. He's the best of the best. They've scoured the globe for people to beat him. You can argue he's had problems outside the ring, but when it came down to it, I mean, the man,
he made to go get that belt, just
the run he made, the people that he beat, the age that he was, how he beat them, the wars that he had with Gustafsson, I mean, he's got to be the top of the list, you know. Um, and then you got to throw a female on there, man, and Amanda Nunes. She's the
close.
goat of females. I mean, she just devastated everybody that she faced, you know. And then man, who else? You'd have to put George St. Pierre on there. I mean, Anderson Silva.
That I think the only one I think is missing is there's your 4, right?
Yeah.
It's Mighty Mouse, man. He doesn't get the
Oh
love.
yeah, man, it's hard. You
Doesn't get
got
the
you
love,
got
and
Mighty
there
Mouse
would be
too.
no lower weight classes if there's not a Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson.
Exactly.
And who's going to be inducted into the
He's
Hall of
right there to me. He's right there with Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Like he's him and Anderson had the bigger name and was more well known, you know, because of lighter weight classes just didn't get as much notoriety. But yeah, I mean, Mighty
The other
Mouse
one is
did
Dominic
things
Cruz.
that
He just got inducted into the Hall, basically, and they announced his induction into the UFC Hall of Fame last night.
yeah.
Yeah, no, Saturday night. I said last night. Missing my days up here, but I mean, it's really hard to sit there and go over. You can't say there's a goat in combat sports because like we just named off 6 different guys.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
It is, man.
But the thing is John Jones has never been beaten. That's why he has to be the GOAT. You get what I'm saying? That's why he has to.
Yeah, but everyone's gonna talk. Oh, he has.
They can talk all they want, but
they
can talk all they want, but the results speak for themselves. You know what I mean? And he's at a point in his career. He's beat the best of the best, moved up to the heavyweight, and beat the guy they thought was the guy there. And I mean, they can talk all they want, but results speak for themselves.
Yeah, he's
at a point now where he can fucking he has a right to pick his fights and pick money fights and do what the fuck he wants. So he can throw those middle fingers up.
I already
said
all your
haters.
I'm like, as soon as they put it out that Aspinall was going to be the guy, I was like, if Alex Pereira didn't lose his last fight at when he moved up, that's the fight they were going to make. That's the fight they've been trying to make. That's the fight that John wanted. It was going to be a legacy-worthy fight. But the fact that he lost kind of ruined that, and then it put Tom Aspinall in there, and then we already know what's been going on.
I guarantee. I don't know. I can't. Not something that I can guarantee, but skill-wise, skill set, he would have beat Tom Aspinall's ass.
Yeah, but like I said, it didn't do anything for him. And that's why
what I'm saying. They weren't going to give him, a huge payday. Or they should
have just made the Alex Pereira fight regardless of the loss.
Super fight. Yeah. Yep.
That would have been the fight. Obviously, I know we're up against it for you, but big fight for you. Obviously, Knucklemainia 6. You get to run it back. What I typically do here at the end is kind of throw the proverbial microphone over you. And when you like to thank training partners, teammates, shoot out your social media sites, any sponsors you have, any parting shots for the listeners today. The time is yours, my friend.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Brandon Beast Mode Meyer. Shout out to my manager, Carlos Leon from CNC Management. Like to thank my my training partners and everybody that helped me prepare for this. Grunt Kickboxing, James J, Facebook. Just everybody that has put that energy into pushing me where I'm at today, man. I thank all y'all and all my fans, everybody that follows me. All y'all push me to do what I do, man. I wouldn't do this without my fans, man. For sure.
That's what make the world go round, especially in the combat sports realm. Those people screaming, hollering, calling your name, they give you that extra juice, that extra energy. So, again, appreciate your time today, my friend. Best of skill for you coming up on February 7th, and
and if anybody comes to Omaha, man, come to the #1 tattoo shop in Omaha, Beast Mode Inc. I'm gonna lay that shit down, man. I can do anything y'all need. Cover-ups, whatever.
Maybe that's something we'll do after the fight. Get you a pop-up tattoo stand to put up in the arena.
A mobile one. Don't give me a mobile one.
Exactly. Brandon, it was a pleasure catching up with you. Pleasure talking to you today. Again, best skill in the 7th, and definitely got to do this again soon, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, man. Enjoy your early morning, afternoon, and have a good one, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, everyone. That was Brandon Beast Mode Meyer. Was definitely fun catching up with him today. Again, guys, if you haven't gotten tickets, make sure you go get tickets. Reach out to your local fighters. I think actually they're doing a percentage discount right now with all the snow and everything that's going on right now. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check out a Knucklemainia and you're in the Philadelphia, Delaware area, New Jersey area, what are you waiting for? Like this is going to be a huge event. And I think it's going to absolutely deliver. So other than that, I will be back on here later this evening for J&S Philly Sports Stop. And, we're going to have some more combat sports interviews this week. We are going to be talking to Joe Elmore. We're going to be catching back up with Jessica Borga. So we got a lot of fun stuff for you this week on top of the normal programming. And as per usual, to wrap this one up, ladies and gentlemen, this episode was brought to you by Fight Wax. Guys, make sure you guys are checking it out, hitting up the website. They also got stuff for your pet skin, as well as the stuff that they have for the regular athlete and stuff like that. And get ready for the Fight Wax soap as well. So guys, make sure you're checking out the website, checking out the social media platforms, reaching out to some of the ambassadors we have, and taking advantage of the stuff to protect your skin. So other than that, this was another episode of The Real and the Rare. I'm your host, as always, Steven Rychel, and I will see you later this evening, my friends. Peace out.